You're standing in a clearing, torn up by claw marks, dozens of them, scraped into the dirt by rivals who got here first, each mark a small, silent boast. Somewhere in the tree line, a female is watching and hasn't moved. You have one shot to prove you're the one she should choose. And here's the strange part. This exact moment, repeated across 165 million years, billions of times over, no fossil has ever caught it. Not one. So how does anyone claim to know how dinosaurs found love at all? Dinosaurs ruled this planet for roughly 165 million years, spanning 3 entire geological periods, long enough for this exact scene, the claw marks, the waiting female, and the nervous standoff, to have played out an almost uncountable number of times on nearly every continent that existed back then, across shifting climates, changing forests, and entire mountain ranges that rose and eroded while it kept happening. And yet, out of every fossil ever pulled from the ground across 2 centuries of digging, not a single one shows 2 dinosaurs in the act of mating. An entire dynasty of romance, spanning longer than mammals have dominated Earth since the extinction, and the fossil record kept none of it. Behind you, another scrape appears in the dirt. You're not the only one performing tonight. Here's why the evidence is so thin. Soft tissue, skin, muscle, reproductive organs, rarely survives fossilization. It rots away, gets scavenged, or simply dissolves long before rock has any chance to preserve it. Bone can last tens of millions of years. The soft, private, intimate parts of an animal's life rarely last a single season. So paleontologists end up working a crime scene where the body itself is gone, left with nothing but scattered evidence. A nest here, a footprint there, a healed fracture, a strange scratch in ancient stone. So if nobody has ever seen it happen, how do scientists reconstruct any of it? The answer starts in a patch of Colorado rock that almost got dismissed as nothing at all. First major reveal, paleontologist Martin Lockley and his team found enormous scratch marks carved into 100-million-year-old rock. Dozens of them, clustered together in tight groups, appearing again and again in the exact same spots across an entire site. At first, researchers assumed they were unfinished nests, the kind of shallow scrapes an animal might dig and then abandon. But the shapes were wrong. Real nests don't repeat like this. Gouged out over and over in the same patch of ground, scraped and reshaped without a single egg ever laid in any of them. Then someone asked the obvious question, what if these weren't nests at all? What if they were dance floors? The marks matched something researchers already knew from living birds, the same kind of ground scraping displays male birds still perform today, kicking up dirt and debris in elaborate patterns to prove their strength and stamina to a watching female, over and over, long before any egg is ever at stake. If these scrapes really were courtship arenas instead of failed nests, then something very close to a mating ritual you'd recognize instantly was already playing out here, tens of millions of years before the first bird ever opened its wings. The female in the tree line hasn't looked away yet, but she hasn't looked at you either. That idea sounds wild until you watch a modern ostrich, plover, or puffin do almost exactly the same thing today, scraping soil, kicking dirt behind them, and performing for an audience of one very unimpressed female. Scientists now believe some meat-eating theropods, animals built roughly like you, gathered in these same open arenas called leks, each male scraping and posturing to outdo the male beside him. Nobody knows exactly what the performance looked like, but the ground still remembers that it happened. And it's still the only proof anyone has, because not one fossil has ever caught the moment itself. And scraping the dirt was probably the easy part, because looking the part came next. Now imagine you're a triceratops instead. Every horn on every skull around this clearing belongs to a rival. Every ounce of energy spent posturing is energy you can't spend running from something that wants to eat you. Get it wrong. The wrong size frill, the wrong display. One moment of hesitation, and your genes simply stop here, tonight, in this clearing, forever. That frill wide enough to shade a car, Parasaurolophus's curved crest, Corythosaurus's helmet-shaped head. These features could help in defense, but many researchers believe their real job was showing off, exactly the way a peacock's tail or a stag's antlers exist mostly to be seen, not survived with. Bigger horns, brighter crests, sharper silhouettes. Nature's way of signaling choose me long before anyone had words for it. Back in your own clearing, another male steps forward, head raised, crest catching the light. The female still hasn't chosen, but she's watching him now too. Somewhere behind you, a call rises through the trees. Digital models of Parasaurolophus's hollow crest suggest air moving through it. Could have produced a deep, booming note, a living instrument echoing through the Cretaceous forest, loud enough to carry across a valley. This remains a hypothesis, not a fact. No one has ever heard the real sound, but the anatomy makes a strong case that courtship wasn't just seen, it was heard. And somewhere behind you, right now, one of those calls just answered another one. The forest around you looks empty. It isn't. Something already knows you're here, and it isn't watching. It's smelling. Some dinosaur skulls show unusually large olfactory regions, the brain's scent processing real estate, hinting that certain species, like modern crocodiles today, may have tracked breeding season through smell alone, reading the air the way we'd read a calendar. No fossil proves any of this directly: sight, sound, or scent. Every one of these is still a reconstruction built from bone and inference, not a recording of the real thing. But three completely different senses, all quietly doing the same job, are a pattern too consistent to ignore. Everything so far has involved animals roughly the size of elephants. Now imagine weighing 70 tons. If you were a sauropod the size of a brachiosaurus or diplodocus, tens of tons balance on 4 legs built to bear weight, not shift it. Finding a mate was never the hardest part. Surviving the attempt was. For decades, this stayed one of paleontology's most stubborn puzzles. Side positioning, rear mounting, tails braced for balance. Every theory built from bone geometry and educated guesswork. None of it ever confirmed by a single witness, living or fossilized. Then researchers studying hadrosaur fossils found something unsettling. Repeated healed fractures near the base of the tail, appearing again and again across multiple skeletons, in the same exact region every time. Too consistent to be accidents, and too specific to be coincidence. Some researchers now suggest the sheer weight of one mate, pressing onto another, may have been enough to break a bone. One proposed explanation among several, still debated, but a chilling one. The injury healed anyway, scar tissue growing back over the fracture. For a species built at that scale, survival and romance may have carried the same physical cost, paid every single breeding season again. The clearing around you goes quiet. Even the rival who was scraping dirt a moment ago has stopped. So how did dinosaurs really find each other without a single fossil ever catching the moment itself? Piece by piece, a scrape and stone, a crest shaped like an instrument, a healed fracture that shouldn't exist unless something enormous happened right there, more than once. None of it is direct proof. All of it, together, is close enough. Close enough that scientists are now willing to say, with real confidence, that dinosaurs didn't just survive. They courted, they competed. Some of them, almost certainly, got rejected. Dinosaur courtship was never just about mating. It is a reminder that even the loudest, largest creatures to ever walk this planet were, underneath everything, just trying to be chosen by one other living thing. The same basic, nervous, high-stakes gamble that still plays out today, just without the frills, the crests, or the tens of tons of body weight involved. The female finally moves, toward you, or toward the rival still standing in the clearing. The fossils will never say which. Either way, somewhere in that decision, 70 million forgotten love stories quietly became one more chapter in the reason dinosaurs lasted 165 million years at all. The scratch marks are still there, waiting in the rock, long after everyone who made them is gone. If the fossil record can't even show us how dinosaurs found each other, what do you think their courtship actually looked like? Tell us your theory below.